Hello and welcome to my glorious home here. I mean, granted, it is built in the middle of a swamp. It is quite dilapidated, but it's still a palace, and it still counts as a palace. Yep, this is the second part of the whole swamp dungeon here. And like I said before, like I just said, it is a palace. And the thing is,
I am a clever
I
one.
found this fairly difficult to navigate around, the first time at least. But something I do appreciate about this whole dungeon is the fact that this is out of all the dungeons, this is the most non-linear. We have this sort of layout here, and you can sort of do it in any order you want and sort of explore a bit. And that there are actually quite a few hidden rooms here and there where you get some goodies or what have you. And for that, I like it. You know, it feels like an actual palace that's actually been destroyed by a curse or what have you. And yep, there we go. Now, if you look to the left of the screen here, you'll see there are 4 daggers. Now, these aren't like special weapons. There are daggers we need to open a door and defeat the boss of this place. Before, I recommended we had sledgehammers, a nice heavy blunt weapon. And the truth is, replaying this game now, it's, you know, these sledgehammers, they're not really important for the enemies in this palace, but they are important for the boss. So yeah, even though they aren't as necessary as I thought they were, they're still worth getting for the boss. And you'll see him in the next part, because yes, this dungeon does go on for a bit.
Right.
Now we go into this room here and we're suddenly ambushed by a large group of Bachoites. But luckily they're fairly weak. You know, even at this point, if you get sort of swamped by them, they're really not that much of a threat. Particularly with these 4 party members. Now, I've said this before with the whole battle mechanics. You know, one enemy can only attack one other enemy at any one time. So really, it becomes a case of like a large group of weak enemies is more effective than one large powerful enemy. You know, you can get swamped fairly easily. But so like what I'm trying to say is that once you have these 4 party members together, you well, I won't say it becomes easy, but it's not really that difficult. And of course, at this point, I sort of, I level up Rosalind's heal ability, and that's another reason why once you get all 4 party members together, the game becomes a lot easier, because you have, at this point, you have 2 healers, and keep in mind, Jakar can learn heal moves as well. So you'll get to the point where you have 3 people potentially healing you in battle. So, yep. To say you're overpowered at that point is an understatement. But I guess that's the good thing about RPGs, is that you start off fairly weak, but you become powerful. And these golems here, pretty simple with 2 sledgehammers. I mean, I am literally demolishing this guy. I'm gonna sculpt you into a slightly smaller statue of an onyx golem. There we go. And in the corner there, you'll see a guy, and this is this is a side quest. It's the only side quest you get here, granted. It's the Ghost of Akamos. This poor gentleman was screwed over by a queen who accused him of stealing a necklace. So we need to clear his name, put right that was once went wrong, and clear this guy's name. Now the necklace, I'll be picking that up, of course, and it's outside the palace, round the back to the left, just so you know. And the very first time I played this game, that annoyed the hell out of me a bit, because I searched the palace on the inside. I thought the necklace would have been on the inside somewhere, because the quest was given to me on the inside of the palace. So that can be a bit frustrating. And even when I got the quest, I thought to myself, I hope it's not outside in the swamp. I hope I don't have to traverse the entire swamp maze again to find that necklace. Oh boy. Now, something which isn't answered in this game, I suppose, is what exactly, who or what was the River God? Because we mentioned that before they were sieged by a River God, and later on we do meet creatures that which could fit that description, like for example a dragon. That seemed to, that seems to be that is actually called the Dragon of Rivers or something. But as far as we can tell, that dragon is a good guy. So I don't. He doesn't seem the type to hold people against their will and say, "Oh, all right, sacrifice your kids to me." He doesn't seem like a bad guy.
It's locked.
Now, of course, Fleas can lockpick this door here.
Success.
Now, at some point in this level, you do get the armory key, and I think that's supposed to allow you to open all these doors. But I do like the fact that if you've leveled up Fleece's lockpick ability, the game essentially lets you sequence break, and I think that's a nice touch. You should be rewarded for leveling up your character stats.
Locked.
Now this enemy here, the sort of Hydreigon, a sort of three-headed Hydra thing.
Success.
No, tell a lie, he's a Gorgon. Well, if you know what a Hydra is, he does look more like a Hydra than a Gorgon. But yeah, I was about to tell you how weak these enemies are, but yeah, too bad he's already dead. In this sort of set of secret rooms here is where you'll find one of the daggers. And it's quite Indiana Jonesy, I guess. You pick up these 4 daggers, and you then slot them into place. Well, I'm saying Indiana Jones, it's sounding quite erotic. And again, at this point, I get sort of ambushed by the shaman character here. And I guess just the tip, if someone's fighting a shaman or a spellcaster, they can't really cast spells, they get interrupted. So it's best.
I'm stronger.
So if your party's attacking other people, just have one guy attack the mage. Critical hit. Now this is a move you definitely want to get leveled up, because like in Pokemon and in RPGs in general, I guess, critical hit, if you land one, a critical hit will do, I think, twice as much damage as a regular hit. It depends. And so by leveling up his stat, that increases the chance of him landing a critical hit. Now Now 2 characters have this ability, but yeah, the other one's Rosaline, who doesn't use melee attacks anyway, so it doesn't matter. But like I said, it's definitely worth leveling up that ability for Jakar. And I think that's something which really helps him out in the later part of the game, because it gets to the point where he's doing heavy hits. He's taking out bosses with a couple of hits, and I think it came down to the fact that his critical hit was maxed out. Anyway, we find ourselves back in the main hall. There is a different level to this palace, but we're doing it floor by floor. And we see here a very large banquet room. So, there you go. Before, I said you had a choice of, going to this dungeon or the city of the Kosani, where there is another dungeon. And, of course, I'm doing this swamp dungeon, so I can complete a few side quests. Because otherwise they'll be hard to do after if you did them in the reverse order. But anyway, the point is, out of the 2 dungeons you get the choice of, this one's definitely the most difficult. It's it's longer and harder than the one you would get at the Kosani City. So I'm not sure how you would take that yourself. Like if I have a choice between doing the hard and the easy one, I tend to do the hard one first to get it over and done with. To get the hard part done quickly, I guess. That and in an RPG you might as well you might as well go to this place and level up, and gain lots of experience. Although I do remember when I first played this game, I didn't know you had a choice. Like I always thought you were supposed to go to the swamp first and then the city. Now, I do take a look in this pool here for a second, and I think there is like a piece of jewellery in there. Like a barbarian's talk or barbarian's necklace or something. Which I don't really use, but I just thought I'd point it out while we're here, I suppose. I do have to wonder what this room was for. It's like next to the dining room, so is it the bathroom or the kitchen? I mean, granted, I do like the idea of this this whole level, of a forgotten palace, but yeah, there isn't that much furniture in each one to, to distinctly tell you what this room was for. Like, for example, there should be a kitchen with sinks, or there should be like a bedroom with beds in it. Every room just has tables in it, so I do wonder what if there weren't, again, if this whole palace concept was unfinished by the time the game was released. Yeah, there are some nice gardens in it though, I'll give it that credit. Like there isn't a bedroom or a kitchen, but there's lots of gardens, lots of statues. And actually, tell a lie, there is some like nice fountains, nice sculptures. So I guess the idea is that it's meant to be a garden palace or something. A garden palace, or or like one of those palaces that has like a huge, extensive garden. When this palace was built, I take it wasn't built over the ruins of a swamp. But because who builds a palace in a swamp? It would just sink, really, wouldn't it? Only a fool would do that, really. Well, actually, tell a lie, I just realised that was a furnace. So this palace does have architectural features to distinguish the rooms.